So hi Beth, thank you so much for joining me today for this interview. Do you mind starting just by introducing yourself, like what college you go to, what subject you study?
Yeah, I'm Beth. I study English and I'm in first year and I go to Gonville Caius. So it's quite a big college and it's quite central, I'd say. But yeah.
I study English and classics, but I also kind of study English at Oxford. Um, and so obviously at Oxford, my experience of the colleges is that each one kind of has their own identity or their own maybe kind of reputation or characteristic. What would you say that is for Caius?
I'd say Caius is quite, because it's quite a large college, I'd say it's quite strong on like community and it's quite social as well. And I'd say that that's kind of like one of the things that I noticed when in Freshers Week. I wasn't expecting it to be so welcoming and to meet so many people who I got on with. And I think that's like one of the key things about Caius that makes it so great, I guess.
Can you remember any specific events in Freshers Week that were particularly successful or memorable?
Like my first memory, I'd say, is kind of like the college bop, I guess, when you meet everyone. But in that week as well, we went to the pub a lot, and I think that was like a great time to meet everyone, kind of like with everyone from college, but outside of like a bop, which kind of feels a bit organized sometimes. And that was really nice because there's a lot of like pubs nearby and it felt quite relaxed, and yeah, it was easy to talk to people in that setting.
Yeah, it kind of feels like you're back home again rather than in this like strange new place.
Yeah.
And do you have bops quite often? Is that a regular occurrence at Caius?
Yeah, I'd say there's probably about three a term, kind of like one at the start, one at the end, and one in the middle. So they're really fun.
Can you just explain roughly how a bop works for someone that might not know what a bop means?
Yeah, so it's basically like a college party, I guess. It was held in like the dining room, and everyone from college, especially first years, go. And it's usually themed. So I think for freshers, it was like everyone went in fluorescent stuff. So it's quite fun. You can dress up, and there's a bar, so you can get drinks and stuff. And then usually you'll go out after into Cambridge, maybe. So yeah, it's really fun. It's just kind of like a party. But
what's your location like at Caius, especially for things like clubs, also lectures and things like that? How have you found the location of your college?
yeah, so for first years, the accommodation is just next to Sidgwick site, which is really good if you do humanities, because it's basically you just get out of bed and then you can go to lectures. And for kind of other clubs, I did netball and it was quite easy to just like cycle to the sports centre. It's kind of like 15 minutes on your bike, which isn't too far really. So yeah, I think it's got a really good location, especially like in first year for kind of like calf and walking to the library and things like that. So yeah.
You mentioned the first year accommodation. Are you not living on main site in your first year? Like, how does accommodation work at Caius?
Yeah, so in first year, all the freshers live. There's two buildings. There's Harvey Court and there's SHB. So you'll live in one of the two, and it's not like old courts. It's like really modern, and it's just I guess it's just all rooms. Like it's all student accommodation. It's not near the library, but it's close enough to be able to walk like back at night and in the morning and stuff. And it's really nice that like you can live next to all the freshers because it's like you get to know everyone. There's not really like a barrier in that sense.
So how far away is that from your main site?
I'd say like 10-minute walk, 5 minute, 10-minute walk.
And so on the main site, you've got things like library and the dining hall and all of that kind of stuff happens on your main site. Is that right?
Yeah, the library, dining hall. well, this year the dining hall was next to Freshers because it's being like refurbished, but usually it would be in the old courts.
Yeah, I was trying to research how your food works, and it was so confusing because on every website I was like, well, we are doing this at the moment, but we've also got this and this and this. But obviously maybe it might be a bit different next year, but roughly how does food work at Caius?
So you have like food dinner tickets. So CAF is 6 till 8, and you'll go and you'll scan your cam card, and you can go between that time, and you'll have like, there'll be like a starter. There's usually like soup, and then there's like a main and dessert and stuff. And you get like enough dinner tickets for basically the whole term. You can bring guests as well. So yeah, CAF's really good because you see everyone from like all the different years as well. So like it's a good time in the evening, like if you've been working, to just relax and stuff. So yeah.
And is the food good? Like, can you think, I don't know, like what was...
For more information on Oxbridge colleges, subjects, and to get help with the application process, visit oxbridgeformula.co.uk. Click subscribe and ring the notification icon to be notified when we release new content.
Can you think of maybe like the best meal that you ate in college last year?
The best meal? Probably one at formal, I'd say. I think there was like, gosh, it had nice potatoes, I remember.
And how does formal work at Caius?
So you can go to formal any night you want, really. So usually it would have been in the old courts, like in the dining room. Obviously last year, because it was refurbished, it was just like in the Acropolis, which is like a big blue tent. And you just kind of wear your gown and you'll go. But it's kind of just like CAF, but someone will read out the like Latin at the start or something. And it's just like, it's nice if you want to make the evening a bit more like formal and, I don't know, have that experience.
So every night there's CAF, and then, so you could go to that, and then a little bit later there's formal. Is that right?
Yeah.
And do most people go to one over the other, or is it a real mix?
I'd say probably most people last year went to CAF, but I think that like formal is really popular too. Like I'd say probably people go to formal maybe once or twice a week, kind of probably towards the weekend, maybe like a Friday. And sometimes people, like you might go to formal with like your subject friends, or like arrange to go with like, I don't know, some friends from your corridor or something.
And you're talking about the other facilities at main site, and you have quite a beautiful library. Is that right? What is your library like at Caius?
The library is so nice. There's like big stained glass windows, and there's like a balcony on either side, where you can sit and work, and then there's like smaller rooms on the edge, and like big tables in the middle, and there's so many books. Yeah, it's a really good library. Like that's kind of like one of the highlights of my first year, like being able to work there, because it kind of motivates you to work more.
And how often would you use the library?
Probably every day, I say. Like after lectures in the morning, I'd usually go to the library for the afternoon, and then maybe sometimes come back after CAF in the evening. Just
and
like
you're talking about like Freshers accommodation. What was your accommodation like? Like, what was your room like? Did you have kitchens or shared bathrooms? Like, how did it all work for Freshers?
Well, I was in SHB and I had a really nice room in first year. Like I was so lucky because I had an ensuite and it was really modern. And there was like a double bed, which is, I don't know, I think a few people have a double bed, but like that was like a complete luxury, I thought. And then in terms of like cooking, we had in each corridor. So there'd be like a jit between about 6 people. And you just like use that however much you wanted, really.
And was there kind of a shared social space in your accommodation as well?
In SHB, there was kind of like corridors, and there'd be maybe like some armchairs at the end, but there wasn't like a shared social room. But I know in Harvey Court, there's more spaces, like there's bigger kitchens where you can sit with more people. And there's balconies in Harvey Court, so like in the summer you could have barbecues and stuff.
Oh, that's so nice.
But yeah, yeah.
We didn't get to have that, unfortunately. And in terms of, obviously, well, I'm sure it's the same for Cambridge, but like I think uni can be really intense and really kind of full on. Is there a lot of stuff at college to kind of balance that? Like what kind of extracurricular activities or societies or sports or things are you involved with, or have you seen other people be involved with at college?
Yeah, there's loads of societies in college, which you can like do in your spare time. So there'll be like, obviously, like there'll be the sports, kind of, which are really nearby, and you can just do at the weekend. And it'll be like anyone can do it. It's not strict at all. So I did mixed netball, which was really fun. So like you play against other colleges, and that's like a great way to like have a break at the weekend. And I guess there's like loads of different societies. I know someone on the floor below me made a Star Wars society, so he did that in the evenings. It's like you can kind of make your own, and I think there was like a bread baking one where people would bake bread. So yeah, a lot of different things to do. Yeah.
And how about kind of welfare or well-being support? What kind of things does Caius offer and organise?
Yeah, so there's like, as part of the GCSU, there's welfare officers. So they'll like organise events from time to time, kind of usually sometimes like in the downstairs of the library. So there was an event where we like made necklaces and stuff like that. And I do think the welfare is really good. And I can't like talk from my own experience because I've not like strictly had something where I've really needed to go to the welfare. But I do think that it's helped a lot of my friends when they felt a bit stressed. And yeah, I do think like most people have enough support at Caius, I'd say. And the environment is nice, so you don't feel like, because obviously you can talk to your DOS or your tutor if you're feeling a bit stressed. So there's generally always someone to talk to, which is nice, I think.
DOS being Director of Studies, right?
Yeah.
And so do you have things like social events that happen within your subject? Are there kind of ways that you can get to know the people that you're studying alongside outside of just having tutorials with them or having lectures with them?
Yeah, for English, I remember at the start there was like a kind of like student run event where we met everyone from all the different years and just like watched a film and chatted and stuff, and that was really nice because you felt like part of a little community within that subject. And then I guess kind of like there's a lot with lectures, you can meet other people from different colleges, which is really nice. And there's also like classes which might be with like one other college, so then you kind of get a bit closer to a few people from a different college, which is nice.
And yeah. How about like years above and obviously next year years below you at Caius? How do you interact with or meet them in college?
I guess kind of sometimes the year above come to bops and stuff like that, and especially with like the societies in college, you meet year above through that. So like with I know with the mixed netball, like I met a few people in the year above who were really nice, and also CAF because it's all years, so you'll see them and you can say hi and stuff like that, and kind of like the usual things like maybe going out and stuff, you meet other people, and like whatever societies you're interested in, you'll probably always meet someone from an older year. Yeah.
And do people at Caius tend to go out quite a lot? Like, is there a big kind of going out atmosphere at Caius, or will everyone kind of get ready together before you go out? Or is there more of kind of an interest to stay in college and socialise? How would your social evenings kind of play out?
Yeah, I do think like a lot of people go out quite a lot at Caius, I'd say. I remember kind of like if we were to go out, we would all like together somewhere, and that would be really nice. And it would just kind of be like when I'm at home with my home friends, kind of like a similar, I don't know, process for getting ready and going out and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's like a lot of people do go out, and obviously like there's a mix, so there's like a lot of different nights you can go out, and you'll always find some people from Caius who want to go out on the same night as you, which is nice.
And if you didn't think that you wanted to go clubbing, for example, what other social events happen in the evening, or what other places near Caius would people hang out in the evenings?
I guess you can go to pubs, which is nice, and there's always like theatre events and things like that if you're interested in like the arts and stuff like that. And there'll always be kind of like sometimes there's like workshops for various things, which is nice in the evening if you want to do that. And also like even if you just want to stay in and like chill with your friends, like there's always something you can do, like you can watch a film or kind of like play cards like in a shared like gym or something, which is nice.
And just going back to facilities, do you guys have a gym? Like, what's your gym like at Caius?
Yeah, it's kind of like 2 rooms put together, so it's quite old fashioned, but like it's got most things that you'd find in a gym, which is good, I guess. And you can just like get a membership, and the membership's so cheap, like for like 3 years or 1 year. I think it's something like £20 for like 3 years or something.
That is
So
really
like really cheap. Yeah.
And how does like washing? Because I was talking to someone and they said that your laundry is free, which to me is crazy because I have to pay like so much money to wash my clothes at college. So how does that work? Can you use it whenever you want, or?
Yeah, pretty much. Like if there's like a free washing machine, you'll just go and put your stuff in it. And you have to bring your own like washing liquid or pods or whatever, but other than that it's basically free, so that's like really handy. And it's like right next to where like our rooms are in first year, so it's like just easy because you just take all your washing down and then pick it up.
Okay, I have a slightly maybe strange question, I don't know. If from being at Cambridge for a year, let's say you couldn't be at Caius anymore, I don't know, for whatever reason, is there another college that from your experience of meeting people at different colleges that you would really like to go to, or that looks like it would be well suited to you, or maybe even similar to Caius? I don't know.
I would say Clare seems quite similar to Caius. I don't know if that's just because it's really near, but like when I go there, there's like a similar feel. And also maybe Selwyn seems quite similar. But I think after a year, I would not want to swap colleges. Like I definitely, like I would have applied to Caius if I knew how much fun I would have had there. That makes
What
sense.
college did you apply for?
I applied to Corpus Christi, which is like much smaller. But then I got pulled to Caius. So.
And how did you decide on your college? Like what was your kind of? So it's quite daunting when you've got I don't know how many colleges are at Cambridge, like 30 or something to choose from, and not very much information about them. What was your process for choosing a college?
I didn't really kind of like know which one to choose. I sort of went kind of on an open day a bit blind as to which college was best. And I know a lot of people say kind of like they choose their college tactically if they think it's like easier. But I just visited Corpus Christi like once, and I liked the buildings and I liked the feel of it, and I just thought I'll apply there. I didn't really overthink it. I hadn't visited Keys either, so I hadn't like visited all the colleges. So I guess I kind of just went on one which I'd seen and kind of liked. And I guess it worked out, but yeah, I just think like don't overthink it and just pick one which you think it's nice. I like the feel.
Yeah, I've got one last question. What is one specific thing that is your favourite about Keys, or like that you really, really like, and one specific thing that you would change?
That's tricky. I think I really like, this sounds so weird, but I really like calf. And like that time of the day, like before, I know it's just like a great, like a really good break. And it feels like so laid back and sociable. I really like that time. And something I'd change. I don't know. I'd maybe make there be kind of more events, like, or something where it makes it easier to meet people from different years. Because I think if you're like all first years are together, like, and like you all live together, and there's not like that many opportunities to meet people who are older, it might be kind of easier if you do that. Because there's college families, but sometimes, I don't know, you want to expand who you know. So that would be nice.
And your college family is 2 people in the year above you, and do you have a sibling as well?
Yeah, I've got a brother, a college brother.
And do you guys do things as a family?
Which is nice. And yeah, I think that was like so good when I first started, to have like an older person like kind of showing you things and like advising you a bit, which was nice.
Yeah, no, I have the same thing. I actually have 2 mums and a college sister, and yeah, no, it was definitely nice at the beginning. They both do English as well, so it was really nice at the beginning to have someone I could kind of ask all of my questions to. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. Yeah, it sounds like you have a really nice time at Keys, and yeah, I hope it will be useful for anyone watching. But yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.